Hey y'all, Pastor James here, coming to you today with the next chapter of our daily Bible study on the book of Genesis. Today we're in chapter 21, which is the birth of Isaac, the son that was promised to Abraham and his wife Sarah. Genesis 21 marks the fulfillment of God's long-awaited promise with the birth of Isaac. The chapter also shows God's care in dealing with Hagar and Ishmael and records a covenant of peace between Abraham and Abimelech. It emphasizes God's faithfulness, the tension between divine promise and human plans, and the importance of trust in God's timing. So now let's get into the biblical text. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah bore to him, Isaac. Then Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded him. Now Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. And Sarah said, God has made me laugh, and all who hear will laugh with me. She also said, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? For I have borne him a son in his old age. So the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast on the same day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, scoffing. Therefore she said to Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, namely with Isaac. And the matter was very displeasing in Abraham's sight because of his son. But God said to Abraham, do not let it be displeasing in your sight because of the lad or because of your bondwoman. Whatever Sarah has said to you, listen to her voice, for in Isaac your seed shall be called. Yet I will also make a nation of the son of the bondwoman, because he is your seed. So Abraham rose early in the morning and took bread and a skin of water, and putting it on her shoulder, he gave it and the boy to Hagar and sent her away. Then she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water in the skin was used up, and she placed the boy under one of the shrubs. Then she went and sat down across from him at a distance of about a bow shot, for she said to herself, let me not see the death of the boy. So she sat opposite him and lifted her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad. Then the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven and said to her, what ails you, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad and hold him with your hand, for I will make him a great nation. Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the skin with water and gave the lad a drink. So God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. He dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took a wife for him from the land of Egypt. And it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and Phicol, the commander of his army, spoke to Abraham, saying, God is with you in all that you do. Now therefore swear to me by God that you will not deal falsely with me, with my offspring, or with my posterity, but that according to the kindness that I have done to you, you will do to me and to the land in which you have dwelt. And Abraham said, I will swear. Then Abraham rebuked Abimelech because of a well of water which Abimelech's servants had seized. And Abimelech said, I do not know who has done this thing. You will not tell me, nor had I heard of it until today. So Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them to Abimelech, and the two of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. Then Abimelech asked Abraham, what is the meaning of these 7 ewe lambs which you have set by themselves? And he said, you will take these 7 ewe lambs from my hand, that they may be my witness that I have dug this well. Therefore he called that place Beersheba, because the two of them swore an oath there. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. So Abimelech rose with Phicol, the commander of his army, and they returned to the land of the Philistines. Then Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there called on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham stayed in the land of the Philistines for many days. God bless the reading of his word. And we've got several key themes in this chapter, as always. The first one being the fulfillment of the promise. Sarah gives birth to Isaac at the exact time God had promised. The long delay emphasizes God's power and faithfulness. He fulfills his word in his own time, not according to human expectation. The second key theme is joy and laughter. Isaac's name means he laughs, reflecting both the joy of Sarah and the earlier laughter of disbelief. Sarah declares that God has brought her laughter and others will rejoice with her, turning former doubt into celebration. Our third key theme is conflict between Isaac and Ishmael. As Isaac grows, Sarah sees Ishmael mocking him and demands that Hagar and Ishmael be sent away. Though difficult, this separation reflects the distinction between the child of promise and the child born of human effort. Our fourth key theme is God's care for Hagar and Ishmael. God reassures Abraham and provides for Hagar and Ishmael in the wilderness. An angel of God speaks to Hagar again, affirming that Ishmael will become a great nation. God's compassion extends even to those outside the covenant line, showing his broader providence and mercy. Our fifth key theme is a new beginning for Ishmael. Ishmael grows up in the wilderness, becomes an archer, and his mother finds him a wife from Egypt. This marks the beginning of the Ishmaelite people, distinct from but still blessed by God. The sixth key theme is covenant with Abimelech. Abimelech recognizes that God is with Abraham and seeks a treaty of peace. Abraham and Abimelech swear an oath at Beersheba, a site named for the well of the oath. Abraham secures legal rights to a well, reflecting God's provision and the importance of peaceful relationships. And our seventh key theme is worship and witness. Abraham plants a tamarisk tree in Beersheba and calls on the name of the Lord, El Olam, the everlasting God. His public act of worship affirms the enduring nature of God's covenant and character. So that's all we have for chapter 21. Fairly short, but a very, very important lesson in the fact that God promised Abraham and Sarah that even in their old age, they would have a son, that Sarah would conceive and give birth to a son. And sure enough, at the very beginning of this chapter, that son, Isaac, is in fact born. And we see him start to grow, and he and Ishmael start to have conflicts between the two of them. Ishmael and his mother are sent away, and he eventually gets a wife from Egypt and starts his own line of people. So hope you like this lesson. If you do, hit the like button and the subscribe button if you have not done so already. Share this with everyone you know. And until we meet again, God bless you and take care of yourself.